Ballad of the Landlord. By Langston Hughes. This poem was written by Langston Hughes, 1902 to 1967. A black American poet. The poem is about the conflict between the landlord and a tenant that emanates chiefly from the fact that the landlord demands his house rent, but he is not ready to repair the house. The resulting misunderstanding sends the tenant to jail without even a fair trial. Landlord, landlord. My roof has sprung a leak. Don't you remember I told you about it? Way last week? Landlord, landlord. These steps is broken down. When you come up yourself, it's a wonder you don't fall down. Explanation. The speaker repeatedly addresses his landlord, saying that his roof is leaking. The speaker already reported this issue to the landlord a week ago. The speaker repeatedly addresses the landlord again, this time saying that his front steps are broken. The speaker expresses surprise that the landlord doesn't trip and fall when he tries to climb up them. $10 you say I owe you? $10 you say is due? Well, that's $10 more and I'll pay you till you fix this house up new. What? You gonna get eviction order? You gonna cut off my head? You gonna take my furniture and throw it in the street? Explanation. The landlord, much to the speaker's indignation, demands that the speaker pay him $10. The speaker incredulously repeats the fact that the landlord thinks the speaker owes him $10. The speaker refuses to pay at all until the landlord makes these repairs and the speaker's house is as good as new. The speaker taunts the landlord, asking what he's going to do now that the speaker won't pay him. Will he kick the speaker out? Turn off his heat? Throw him and all his stuff out into the street? You talking high and mighty. Talk until you get through. You ain't gonna be able to say a word if I land my fist on you. Police, police. Come and get this man. He's trying to ruin the government and overturn the land. Explanation. The speaker notes that now the landlord is getting a snobby attitude and talking down to the speaker. The speaker tells the landlord to just keep on talking, but that he won't be able to say a word if the speaker punches him. The landlord frantically calls for the police, saying, "Arrest this man. He's threatening the governmental order by threatening to not pay me and trying to spark a revolution." Copper's whistle. Patrol ball. Arrest. Princess Station. Iron cell. Headlines in press. Man threatens landlord. Tenant held no bail. Judge gives Negro 90 days in county jail. Explanation. The policeman blows his whistle. The police car sounds its siren. The speaker is arrested. The speaker is taken to the local police station and put in an iron cell. The media write about his arrest, with a headline stating that a man who threatened his landlord is now being held in jail with no option to get out on bail. The man is black, the headline notes, and has been sentenced by the judge to 90 days in jail. Analysis of the poem. Conflict. The poem exposes the main conflict that existed in American society between the Americans of African origin against the white Americans. The reaction of both parties resulted into new conflicts without settling the previous ones. In the poem, the landlord is in conflict with his black tenant because of the house rent. The tenant agrees to pay on a condition that the house which has sprung a leak and the broken stairs should first be repaired. The landlord threatens to evict him from the house and the tenant threatens to beat the landlord. Racial discrimination. The poem shows the problems of racial prejudices and racial injustice. Blacks were treated as second-class citizens in America. They were not given their basic human rights and they had to fight for their rights by every possible means. The poet shows how racial tension grew to a point of resulting to a serious quarrel between the tenant and the landlord. The use of the word Negro, which is an offensive word used to refer to black Americans, suggests that the blacks are abused in this society by their white counterparts. Blacks are sent to jail without bail, nor fair trial. injustice. Furthermore, through the poem the poet shows another problem that befell the Americans of African origin during the time of racial prejudice in America. Most Africans were accused falsely and sent to jail without fair trial. The events towards the end of the poem show a quick succession, suggesting that events were rushed from the arrest to the imprisonment of the tenant, without giving him a chance to give his views on the matter in question. The police, the court and the press all seem to work in favor of the whites. This was completely unfair to Africans, and unfortunately enough it is still true today. End of the analysis. Thank you.